I live in unincorporated Lakeland, so don't get a chance to vote here, but I do tell my friends about all of you, so let them know to vote on November 4th. So I've noticed that on at least 2 occasions, a question was asked on how to keep college graduates here. I didn't go to college. I made the decision to jump right into the workforce right out of college, I went to collegiate, so both, college and high school. I've worked hard to build a career, but I've had to travel outside of Lakeland to Hillsborough County for the past 4 years just to find a job that pays a sustaining wage. What steps would you all spearhead to ensure that high school graduates and those without degrees are able to sustain a living in Lakeland without contributing to development, sir?
Sure.
There's opportunity to do just that by engaging not necessarily as a city commissioner from City Hall, but as a city commissioner that can open doors and be a resource to community connection that has to happen. We have Connect Ed Polk here in Lakeland, started as Lakeland Leads. It is a system that is designed to bring ideas to the table to help advance our local public school system. Right now, as a candidate for City Commission, I am working on getting some of their board members connected with a resource in Plant City. A young lady by the name of Yvonne Friday is running a phenomenal program in Hillsborough County where they're bringing employers to all the juniors and seniors of Hillsborough County, taking them on business tours, taking them on mock interviews so that they are prepared to walk into those doors in those companies that are represented in their county and be ready to take on jobs that are available in that community. I understand there's an opportunity or there's a gatekeeping that happens here in Lakeland. Even as a native, you experience that sometimes because you're not always connected into the right social clubs or the right churches or the right whatever. So to find that opportunity that exists. So bringing something like this to Lakeland, to Polk County, will help advance and open up more doors for more people so that they can do what you're just saying, take advantage of jobs that are here in this community, right here available so they don't have to go to Tampa and Orlando. Second thing I'll be looking at trying to support is working on leveraging our position along I-4 and advancing our opportunity to carve out the space in the high-tech corridor along in I-4. That's not necessarily economic development in the sense of that people like to frame it right now, which is all about building things, but it is economic development in the sense that we want to position ourselves as a community that's ready to do business with those high skill, high wage jobs that are out there, and that's making sure that we're leveraging our position along the I-4 community and developing those relationships that we need in the economic development community.
So I feel you. I've driven that route for 10 years now. I was actually rear-ended 3 times last year on I-4, and I'm over it. For 10 years, I've been trying to find a job here in Lakeland that will pay me when I make over in Tampa. You know, we've got a very unique opportunity in that we've got an innovation district, but it doesn't have any innovation. We've got one company that we've been able to recruit, IFF, International Flavors and Fragrances. With our proximity to McDill Air Force Base, where I worked for 5 years with the Defense Department, we've got a great opportunity to really hit the AI boom that's coming, and it's not going anywhere. Defense jobs as well. These are 6-figure jobs that have benefits, 401k, medical, dental. We've also got a great opportunity with 2 massive healthcare systems, 2 current clients of mine, Orlando Health and Advent Health. We need to be ahead of this. We need to be looking at the biomed, the healthcare service, the healthcare support. Those jobs pay well. And we got 5 universities, but these kids got nowhere to work. Why don't we start creating a capture plan with a SWOT analysis? We can go out, we can identify these firms who really would work well in our community, and then we would work with the universities as well and find degrees that are commensurate with the jobs that these firms have available. I mean, it's not rocket science, but it's hard work. The days of warehouse and logistics are over. They pay $50,000, $60,000 a year, poor benefits, and we can do better than that. I know we can.
Certainly.
So I really appreciate this question because I'm the only person in my family that has an undergraduate degree. So brothers that worked in banking and started in retail, and another brother retired from Verizon, from FiOS, he was a lineman. But one of the things that is occurring right now that I think is encouraging is the superintendent of schools, Fred Hyde, is working, and we're at a better place now than we've ever been, partnering with some of these corporations, whether they're big business or small business, and incubating businesses and having different opportunities as the talent pipeline. So Polk Vision, where I worked for 4 years as executive director, we always have had a talent pipeline, and what it really has done is heighten the conversations between the businesses, whatever they may be, small, large, medium, whatever, and talking to the school district about, tell us the talent you need and help us train talent so when they do graduate high school through our academies or through different things, they're ready to hit the ground running. That they don't have to go do a bachelor's degree, that they don't have to go to, tech school necessarily. They can, those are different pathways, right? Like those are great opportunities for students that want to stay, whether they want to work with their hands and do HVAC and, be plumbers and electricians, which we need more than ever before.
Right.
But in addition to that, what are some other areas of opportunities? And so Superintendent Hyde talks about this, and not only talks about it, he has worked with, and I've had conversations with all the school board members, and then running my foundation that serves high school students here in Polk County called the Randy Roberts Foundation, encouraging civic engagement for the last 15 years. We try to find pathways where the talent matches the jobs, because that's a critical thing. We can have people who have warehousing, and we can have, companies that do these different things, but if there's a CDL driver that's driving for Saddle Creek, but they can't get that correct CDL license coming out of high school, we need Saddle Creek to come alongside and say, this is what we're looking for. These are the credentials we need. Because right now what's happened in the last 6 or 7 years is companies are saying, well, if you'll give us the CDL drivers, we can match them up. Well, that's great, except when we do that, then Saddle Creek's like, oh, we technically have these other things they have to do. And so the superintendent has worked really, really diligently through the academies and through his own business relationships and the community liaisons that they have throughout Polk County for Polk County Public Schools, and matching those and saying, we will pay half the salary for a business to come in and teach kids how to do the things that they need. But that's something that we're constantly having to hurdle.
We're going to keep going this way.
Oh, I see.
Everybody put their hand up on this one, so we'll come back up. No, that's okay.
As somebody so young that just recently graduated, I think that it is a direct reflection in the way that we have not been retaining graduates of not even just our local economy, but the economy throughout the United States. And I understand completely that it's hard. I speak from that firsthand. I think that we've all heard at this point that I work at Hooters, and it's a good company because it empowers women to do better, to pursue greater opportunities, but also they provide 401k, they provide health care, they provide tuition reimbursement, which are things that a lot of our jobs have not been able to offer us here in Lakeland, especially for somebody of my age. Within that, recently, actually, I have been talking to a lovely lady named T. She's actually the granddaughter of recently elected Commissioner Terry Coney. And we've been discussing creating an app for Lakeland that, similar to Indeed in the way that it allows people to view jobs that are here in Lakeland, but it would focus directly on local business owners and small businesses here in Lakeland, and it would give a direct link to the working class to find what fits them, find what they can apply for within their community, especially because a lot of apps now, when you go in and you use things like job searches, there are a lot of what we call ghost jobs, which are where people are going out and they're putting out job listings for jobs that do not actually exist. What we want is for people to feel more involved in our community and to help support local commerce here and to get involved with local businesses. And I feel like that will help rally around our community. It will get people more involved, and it will also help pursue a greater Lakeland.
I think when you're making your decision on who you want for mayor, you have to look at where there are gaps in the skills and expertise of the current commissioners and the ones who are candidates. I bring a very unique perspective to the table. With the doctorate in nursing gerontology, the study of aging, hospital administration, community health, public health, coordination of community programs. I think that I bring that perspective in the sense of when we look, which most people are very concerned about the health, their own health, the future health of our community. I'm the only one that brings that perspective and that skill set. I see we have major organizations in health that are new and upcoming to our community. I think we need to do an assessment of what their needs are in terms of their labor force and look at our college programs, what they are currently offering at the baccalaureate, associate level, and even technical skill level, to look where there are gaps in terms of programs we have and what is needed by our market. And we can develop those programs. We can provide internships in the hospitals, in the outpatient care facilities. We can attract people that have educational background to these corporations so they can go on to a graduate program that may not even currently be present. This is my area of expertise, and this is what I can offer. And we are in need of it, especially with an aging population.
What was your name?
Athena.
Athena, great question. I think there's that personal piece before we get into the professional piece. I think that personal piece starts with clarifying what is it that the students or the young people are wanting to do. It's one thing to have a job, it's another thing to have a job you love and enjoy and how you serve people and earn a living from it. And so in clarifying, I would say then we understand what is it that Athena is going to, what is it that she loves? What is it that drives her, that wakes her up, that says, you know what, I love the result in seeing this. Maybe it's teaching, maybe it's technology. What is that thing? Because I think once clarity enters the picture, then that brings about a level of confidence. And what confidence comes in, I think that moves towards the mastery of those skills, which leads to then connecting with individuals who are currently doing it, to then say, hey, this is who I am, this is what I want to do. I see where you are, what's your story, how did you get there? And what that does, it just continues to stoke the fire you already have, and then it brings about the opportunities that we're looking for. So I think, so that's that clarifying piece. That professional piece. I think the fact that you're asking the right question here is great. And what that does, it continues to stoke that fire to say, what is available? Here, I'm here, what's available, let's go for it. And then there comes that time, Athena, where I connect with you on this piece. Let me start something, let me try something. First generational college student. Have a doctorate, have a master's, have a bachelor's degree. When I set out to come to college, my mom looked at me, we were sharing an Egg McMuffin and coffee at McDonald's, and she said with tears streaming down her face, I can't give you one shiny penny to go to school. I've got 3 other boys to raise. And so it wanted me to jumpstart something, to step out, conquer that fear, and to say, let's try something. And today, having been the director of the Jerusalem Studies Center in Israel for about 4 years, what I've been able to do in bridging students to travel to different countries to see what they're offering, what their young people are doing, it has stoked them as well. And I think that what I see in you, I see someone who's brave, I see someone who's strong, and I see someone who works well with others. I also see a spark of an entrepreneur. And so I would say, hey, let's clarify that, and at the same time, let's see what else is out there.
Excellent. Thank you again for the question. Was part of your question, how do we do that without
developing more of Florida? I mean, we're getting rid of a lot of our really necessary ecosystem. In Polk County, we've got the blushing scrub bomb it's native to our county. The increasing development of the Polk Parkway is actually degrading that whole ecosystem that's made for that special plant that's made in Polk County. So I don't want more of that. I want I saw one of your signs, Mr. Music, on a vacant building. What are we gonna do? Why, don't we have better things to do with that vacant building than putting political signs on it? That's kind of what I'm talking about. We have things that we can do here that we can develop internally, not without adding more development to it, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, that's an interesting question, because what you're saying is I want more without wanting more. And that's difficult. Right? It's to say I want to increase, but I don't want to increase. And that can be difficult. So my hope is, and it's a great friend of mine that owns that building, and I appreciate that he allowed me to put a sign on there, because he's hoping to bring in a small grocer or a small business to bring in and take over a building that's been vacant since I was in high school. So I'm excited for that kind of development. Ashley was talking about Connect Ed. It's an area where they're going to help students go and learn about other opportunities before they get out of high school. And one of them that they're going to have is a trades hub, where they're going to have a contractor in there, they're going to have an electrician, a plumber, and a roofer, and we've signed up to be the roofer. And it's not inexpensive for us to be part of that, to help train the next group of people like myself who education, listen, I'm going to have 2 doctors in my family, a daughter with a master's, and I struggled to get through school, but I love the trades. I love the trades. I love working with my hands. I love working with those individuals. So can we do that without increasing? Sure, we can do things without tearing stuff down. We should protect. I mean, my dad was a biology teacher for over 50 years, and he loved plants and collected all those things. So should we protect that? Absolutely. That is our job. That is our birthright, is to protect what's around us. But to be able to do any of that without creating some sawdust. I tell people this all the time. If I'm going to come and do your roof, we might break a plant. You might find a nail. There's 65,000 nails on your roof that have to come off for me to put a new one on. So am I going to create a mess? Am I going to create a mess to make something better? I might. And we might do that as the city commission. We might have to rustle something down that we really love for the greater good in the future. And that's what's difficult about this job. And that's why you need somebody that is willing to look and say, I'll make that tough decision. But I have 3 young kids that are probably pretty close to your age. I want them here and I want them to be able to make a living. And it's harder today. But you know what we don't get back? It's time. So I want everybody to have a job that they love. Because at the end of the day, when you get home, that's what I want you to do, is to be proud of what you did.
Thank you. I'll try to make this good. Thank you. Excellent answers. I have another side of that because I'm raising a special needs child. He is 18. He had entered the workforce last year at Chili's because that's a safe space. I was able to make sure that the management could look after him and make sure he wasn't getting yelled at by some of the other team members that I don't like. We really have an amazing team over at Chili's, and he's been there for a year. My worry is, and I want all the high-paying jobs here, that's great, but they still need their groceries rung up, they still need food brought to their table, they still need cashiers at the gas station, and these people deserve a clean, safe place to live also. So that's where I'm coming from. Yeah, that's great, we want the high-paying jobs here, but we also have workforce folks that still need to live. So I mentioned it at the first forum about other municipalities that have been taking defunct hotels and turning them into affordable housing. I know they tried it here. I spoke to Carlos Carrazzo, I think that's his name, at the Lakeland Housing Authority. I spoke to him last week about it, and he's like, great, let's drive around and look at properties, because Imperial is doing nothing next to the bowling alley, and that's still walkable. You could walk to Aldi, you could find a job around there. These are things that we can be doing as a commission, to not keep building, but utilize what's there. So that's what I'm looking forward to do. Again, win or lose, I'm still going to pursue that project.
Thank you. I want to say thank you to Tina, because that was a springboard question that got a lot of answers in addition to what I think was a core, what we thought might be a core. Unfortunately, that brings us to 7:30, and so we cannot take any more questions. We have our business half hour to do. I'm sorry. You know their faces. Most of them brought material. They're all welcome. You're all welcome to stay. We should be done in about 20 minutes, and then you can mingle and ask them questions individually. We could probably go on another hour. You all are very inspiring, and I really thank you for taking the time to speak to us. And I think we heard a lot. So let's follow on that and then ask them some more questions. Thank you.